All right, friends, we are starting part 5 of our Azure Data Fundamentals Ultimate course with question number 61. Here we are asked which asset transaction property ensures a transaction executes completely or not at all, prevents partial completion, and rollbacks if any part fails. Options are atomicity, durability, isolation, and consistency. Folks, atomicity is the correct answer here. Durability ensures committed data persists even after failures. Isolation controls how concurrent transactions interact. And consistency ensures database moves from one valid state to another. Now, question number 62 requires us to identify the format used in data presented on your screen, and your options are JSON, YAML, HTML, and XML. Now, the data here contains opening and closing tags, which is person in this case. Nested elements, attributes, for example, age, type, and it has a hierarchical structure, which signifies this is XML structure. JSON uses curly braces with key value pairs. YAML is indentation based without tags, and HTML uses predefined web markup tags. Okay, in question number 63, we need to identify the tool which has native notebook support, allows querying and visualizing data, and uses a web-based interface. The options are Azure Databricks, pgadmin, Microsoft Power BI. Now, folks, Azure Databricks provide native notebook environments based on Python, SQL, Scala, R. pgadmin is a PostgreSQL database administration tool, and Microsoft Power BI is a data visualization and reporting tool. Now, friends, there is a link on your screen which you can use to read more about notebooks in Azure Databricks. Okay, in question number 64, we need to identify two features that distinguish Data Lake from Azure Data Lake Storage. Options are support for batch data, schema enforcement, support for an Apache Spark runtime, transactional consistency, support for streaming data. Now, folks, Data Lake enforces schema validation when writing data. It prevents accidental schema changes or bad data, whereas ADLS is just storage and doesn't enforce schema. Now, Data Lake also provides ACID transactions, ensuring transactional consistency. It ensures reliable reads and writes and prevents data corruption, whereas ADLS alone does not provide transactional guarantees. Go through the link on your screen to read more about Data Lake if you were not familiar with the concept already. Now, friends, in question 65, we are going to look at a series of statements which are focused on Azure Blob Storage. The first statement is, in Azure Blob Storage, each block in a block blob is a fixed size. Friends, each block has a maximum size limit, but blocks are not required to be the same size. You can upload blocks of different sizes within allowed limits. Second statement is, in an Azure Blob Storage, blobs are stored in a container. This is a correct statement. Containers act like folders that organize blobs, and blobs, which are files or objects, must exist inside a container. Now, the third statement is, in an Azure Blob Storage that does not have a hierarchical namespace enabled, you can assign access at the folder level. This is an incorrect statement. Without hierarchical namespace, Azure Blob Storage uses a flat namespace, so you cannot assign permissions at folder or directly level. In this question, we are looking to migrate an on-premise SQL Server database to Azure with minimal maintenance effort while providing support for database mail and service broker. Now you need to tell what you should include in the solution to meet the given requirement. Your options are Azure SQL Database Single Database, and Azure SQL Database Elastic Pool, Azure SQL Managed Instance, SQL Server on Azure virtual machines. Friends, Azure SQL managed instance would be the right fit here. SQL Server on Azure Virtual Machine would also provide the required functionality of database mail and broker. However, this is infrastructure as a service offering, meaning you will need to manage the OS and SQL Server, introducing higher maintenance as compared to Azure SQL managed instance. Now, the statement for question number 67 is, which Azure Blob Storage feature enables you to sync a blob storage account to an external cache? Your options are the hot access tier, the change feed, snapshots, versioning. Now, folks, change feed provides an ordered log of changes made to blobs and enables external systems like cache or downstream services to detect updates. Hot access tier defines storage cost and access frequency. Snapshots are point-in-time read-only copies of blobs, and versioning keeps previous versions of blobs. Question number 68 is the fill in the blanks one, where you need to determine how can you query a graph database in Azure Cosmos DB. The options provided are as nodes and edges by using the Gremlin language, as partition row store by using Cassandra query language, as partitioned row store by using language integrated query. Now, folks, Azure Cosmos DB supports multiple APIs, and Gremlin API is used for graph databases. Graph data is represented as vertices, which is nodes, and edges, which is relationships. Folks, if you are liking the content, then make sure to hit the like button and subscribe the channel. We will move on to question number 69 of the series. Now here we have data stored in two tables with defined columns, which are customer ID, name style, title, first name, middle name, last name, address ID, address type, and modified date. Both the tables relate using customer ID. Now you need to tell which type of data do the tables contain. Your options are structured, non-relational, semi-structured, unstructured. Now, folks, the tables relate using customer ID. This signifies that it is structured data. Whenever you see data in XML, JSON, or YAML format, then it is semi-structured data. Non-relational data would have a flexible schema, and unstructured would have no predefined schema. Before we proceed, folks, I would like to introduce you to my TopMate profile. If you are seeking guidance on clearing certification exams, considering a career transition into DevOps or cloud computing, or require support with resume reviews or mock interviews, you can easily schedule a one-to-one session with me via TopMate. You will also find digital products available for purchase, including PDF version of all the certification questions featured on the channel. PDF will be available for download instantly as soon as purchase is completed. For any specific queries, feel free to use the priority DM option. I will respond as soon as possible. Do not forget to take advantage of the tips and coupon codes available at the top of my TopMate profile to enjoy these benefits at minimal cost. Friends, link to my TopMate profile is available in the description section of this video. Now friends, in question number 70 of the series, we are going to match the job roles with appropriate tasks. The job roles being talked about in the question are data analyst, data engineer, and database administrator. First task is to assign permissions to users. Friends, DBAs manage security, access control, and database permissions. Now, the second task is derive meaning from data by creating visualizations and charts. Data analysts focus on reporting, visualization, and business insights. Third task is implement which pipelines to transfer and transform data between systems. Data engineers build ELT or ETL pipelines and data integration workflows. Now, friends, if you still have any doubts in any of the questions covered till now in the series, then please post them in the comment section and I'll try to address them as soon as possible. All right, in question number 71, we need a Power BI visualization that shows running sales totals per quarter. step like increases over time, and final total at the end, which is represented with a graph on your screen. Your options are a waterfall chart, a ribbon chart, a bar chart, a decomposition tree. Now, folks, waterfall chart shows cumulative increases and decreases, and it is ideal for financial analysis, growth tracking, and incremental changes. Ribbon chart is used to show rank changes over time. Bar chart shows comparisons but not cumulative step-by-step totals. And decomposition tree is used for root cause analysis and drill down analytics. All right. Here we need to find out what can be used to perform hybrid transactional and analytical processing against Azure Cosmos DB using Azure Synapse Analytics, and your options are Synapse Pipelines, a Synapse SQL Pool, Synapse Link, Synapse Studio. Now, friends, Synapse pipelines are used for ETL, which means extract, transform, and load, or in simple words, data movement. So let's rule it out. A Synapse SQL pool is a data warehouse engine and requires data ingestion, so no direct HTAP, making it another incorrect choice. Synapse Link is designed specifically for near real-time analytics, HTAP scenarios, and querying operational data without ETL. Folks, Azure Synapse Studio is the web-based interface or portal used to work with Azure Synapse Analytics. Let's move on to question number 73 of the series. Here we are going to go through a series of statements focused on stream and batch processing. And the first statement is, stream processing has access to the most recent data received or data within a rolling time window. Now, stream processing works with continuous data streams and processes data as it arrives. So this is a correct statement. A key tip here, friends, whenever you see stream processing, then think about real-time and rolling windows. And whenever you see batch processing, think about large historical data sets. Now, the second statement is batch processing must occur immediately and have latency in the order of seconds or milliseconds. This is an incorrect statement. Batch processing processes large volumes of data at scheduled intervals and not in real time, which means latency can be in minutes, hours, or even days depending on workload. Let's look at the third statement. Stream processing is used for simple response functions, aggregates, or calculations such as rolling averages. This is a correct statement. Stream processing commonly performs event-based reactions, that is alerts or triggers, aggregations, that is count, sum, average, and rolling window calculations, for example, last 5-minute average. Folks, in this question, we need to determine the type of analytics. A bar chart showing year-to-date sales by region depicts. Your options are predictive, prescriptive, descriptive, diagnostic. Now, predictive forecasts future outcomes while utilizing statistical models or machine learning. An example can be predicting next quarter sales. Prescriptive recommends actions. Example can be suggesting pricing strategies. Descriptive analytics summarizes historical or current data. Some examples are sales reports, dashboards, and charts and visualizations. Folks, diagnostic explains why something happened. Example can be root cause analysis. One remaining option which is not covered in this question is cognitive analytics, which helps draw inferences from existing data and patterns. Now, on your screen is a Microsoft Learn link which explains data analytics in more detail. Make sure to go through that as well. Now, friends, the statement for question number 75 is, which statement is an example of data manipulation language? Your options are insert, alter, drop, and create. Now, folks, we have already covered what is DML in multiple questions in previous parts of the series, so I am not going to explain it all over again. But if you don't know about it, then make sure to go through previous parts of the series. Insert is the correct answer here. Alter, drop, and create are all example of DDL statements. DDL stands for data definition language. Okay, folks, this brings me to the end of fifth part of our Azure Data Fundamentals Ultimate course. I'll see you soon in further parts of the series. If you have not subscribed the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you are notified whenever the next part in the series is released.